Joseph, family fears. This comes from the liturgical calendar, but I think it's a few weeks ahead of where we are right now.
Yes.
You know, Joseph was very loved by his father, Jacob. And his brothers hated him for that love. Have you ever received favor and love that you didn't beg for, you didn't ask for, and you were hated for it? In your family, outside of your family.
Amen.
That is what happened to Joseph. Now, did he take advantage and kind of rub it in at times? I think he did. But it wasn't his fault that his father loved him more than he loved his brothers. That's what the text says. The brothers, of course, took a little, umbrage to that. They had attitude. I used to have attitude when people said my sister's hair was longer or she was taller. I had to embrace that my hair may go a little past the shoulder and I'm 5'2½". I no longer lie and say I'm 5'5". But Joseph's brothers were strange. Go to the next slide, Paul. Kind of like our family at times. They're like fudge, mostly sweet with a few nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So his brothers started becoming a little nutty because Daddy was doting on Joseph. He had a special tunic made for him that was filled with colors and brilliance that was showing the love he had for the young boy. He didn't give them a shirt. Now, this is where, as parents and grandmothers, recognize sometimes that when you put a little extra sugar on that one that you dearly love, remember that you do love the other one.
Yeah.
Give them a little extra sugar. They should never be able to tell who you love most.
Amen. Amen.
That was Jacob's problem. They knew. He had no shame. I love Joseph. All you other jokers, I love you, but not as much as I love Joseph. And so they go on. And Joseph started to have dreams. When you feel good, how did you feel when you knew you were loved? Kind of makes you go,
Yeah.
gives you a smile. You know you're loved by your parents. Or when you meet the one and you know you're in love, you feel special. Well, he decided, well, my brothers love me, but my daddy really loves me. I'm going to share with my brothers my dreams. Ha! Be careful who you share your dreams with.
Amen. Yeah.
That includes family, especially family.
Yeah.
If there has been different imbalances within the family unit, at times sharing something God has given to you is not wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the boy had no parameters. He had no parameters put on him from his father's love. He was just free. And he said, I'm going to share my dream. And in those dreams, he shared two. One happened and then another. His brothers were bowing to him. So how would you like it if Mackenzie or someone came and said, you're going to bow to me? Morgan would be like, yeah. Think about that. You're going to bow before me. Now, he's wearing a nice shiny coat. No, he knows that his father has his back, so they didn't beat him up. They wanted to. Next slide. This is where family fears begin to be understood. Because you're not one of the visionaries in the family, don't hate the one who is. Don't hate the one that has a gift of math, a gift of writing. See, all of those gifts come to make the family complete, not to destroy it. But many times we allow those things to destroy the family unit rather than make it stronger. If you have to hurt other people in order to feel powerful, you are extremely weak. The problem is we will hurt each other, our family members. We will hurt each other to feel strong. Walk out in a group of strangers that will not hurt a hair on their heads. But come among our families. Come on, you You know how the family reunion is.
Yes.
And to feel strong, we have to tell someone's business. We have to tell someone's history. Rather than stand in the family unit and look at that person's gifts and put light on the fact that they have a testimony, they made it through some things. No, it wasn't perfect. No family is. All you have to do is look at the lineage of Yeshua to know of the imperfection of the family unit. Yeshua has Rahab, who is said to be the head of a brothel. And howsoever we like it, we might have someone in our family that headed up one too. Yeshua didn't hide her. This is where you make a different choice about the text. Next slide, Paul. You got to make a different choice about how you see this sacred word. And this is where some of us fall. We perceive ourselves to be in relationship with God when we are really in relationship with a biblical text that speaks about God and the way a particular community perceived God. Y'all need to hear that one again. Many Christians perceive themselves to be in a relationship with God, when really they are in relationship with a biblical text that speaks about God and the way a particular community perceived God. See, some of us, the text, we will take someone and take that Bible and we will beat them to death with it. Or we will use it to beat them verbally. That will tell of your relationship with God. And I'm willing to say, if that's how the word presents through you, you have a relationship with a book and not with God.
Amen. Yes.
To have a relationship with God is to shift and change everything around you as you go about your living and being in the presence of your God. Yes, you are to get into the text. But the text is supposed to live through you. How has your community changed? Because the word is being emanated through you. That means it's become a living, breathing part of God in you that comes forth. How has that changed? See, Joseph didn't grasp that. And Joseph didn't have a Bible. Joseph's brothers didn't have a Bible. They had the stories of their ancestors. Many of you don't know the stories of your ancestors. You don't want to know them. You must know the story of your ancestors.
Amen. Yes.
It'll tell you something about yourself. My granddaddy could pick and make fun like no one else. And there are times when I do little things that are picky. And I'm like, that's my granddaddy coming out of me, isn't it? He used to pinch us and say, is that my meat? And we were like, well, I guess so. It's in your hands. And some of us used to try to be strong and say no. And he would pinch harder. Because you ended up saying yeah. Have I done that to my girls? Yes, I have. But it's in fun. Joseph didn't recognize whether or not he had a relationship with God. Neither did his brothers. His father had a relationship with God. His father, Jacob, you know, the one that saw the ladder and stole from his inheritance from the brother, all those things. His father had a relationship. See, sometimes we're living on Mama and Pawpaw's relationship with God, and we think we have our own, and we don't, because you're having a relationship with a book.
Yes.
Not with your God. Big difference. Big difference. Joseph tells that dream. Then the dad sends them off to find them to make sure they're okay. What did they do? We're going to kill this boy. He made me sick. They saw him coming. Have you ever seen somebody come and say, oh, Jesus, keep me near the cross, Father. You didn't see them coming. They knew he didn't mean them harm. They just saw him coming, and they knew they meant him harm. They couldn't stand him because Daddy loved him. They couldn't stand him because Daddy gave him a nice coat, didn't give them a coat, and here he comes in that coat. How dare dare him come to check on us like he's our boss. And he said to us, I will bow before you. No, they were like, This young man is too full of himself. Joseph was too dumb to be afraid, too blinded in his own stupor of self to be afraid. Sometimes you can have a dream from God and God's trying to show you what's coming and is good. You better hold your mule, as they used to say.
Yes. Yes.
Hold your mule. He did it. Next slide, Paul. See, now what he didn't understand was everything that he wanted was on the other side of fear. Y'all better hear me. Everything Joseph wanted was on the other side of fear, because it's painful when God is leading you to a place where other people who have been important on your journey cannot follow. Hear me. Not everyone can follow you where you're supposed to go. Don't judge them, nor judge where you've been. God was there too. See, God was with Rahab when she was running the brothel. Y'all hear me? He was with Rahab. Someone said to me this week, I go to a spirit-filled church. Spirit-filled church. And I just thought, well, isn't God's spirit everywhere? And their nose was in the air. They were they would look at me. I find sometimes it's a struggle between the male and female energies, and that some males don't like a female preacher. Yeah. And see, I'm not the one, because I own the male side of who I am. Because see, I am a woke man. How about that? That's how I think Adam looked. Whoa, man. Woo! But see, God is there. And I just tried to say, God is everywhere. They became frustrated with me. And I just look at them like, whoa. Now, that side of me, the little girl Charlotte, that messy side of granddaddy that I have, I could have thumped him on his head. But I didn't do that. Because see, sometimes you got to let people stay where they are until they're able to come up out of where they are in a healthy way. To pull some people into the light is to bring insanity. Yes. We don't want insanity. All I can say is, bless you, brother. I got away from him, so my mouth didn't get away from me. Amen. Don't let your heart be arrogant now, but also don't stop walking. This text reminded me of my favorite quote. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Keep going. Yes. Yes. Because whatever part of hell you just went through, God was there too. Because David said it doesn't matter, the ocean, hell, above, sky, earth, you're there. Amen. Joseph did not know these things. Joseph, nor his brothers, nor his fathers were doing this. Next slide, Paul. Adulting. None of them were adulting. You know, we can say, I'm an adult. I'm 18. I'm an adult. I'm 21. I'm an adult. I've had babies. No, applying ancient wisdom in a modern world takes adulting. Amen. Yes. That means dealing with yourself, with the people around you, with the energy around you, in a way that brings peace and light and God's presence. I felt God's presence when Linda started praying this morning. Amen. Presence came. Yes. Even when you don't feel it. I didn't feel it this week. I shared with Patty. I had to call her. I'm depressed. Patty said, well, why are you depressed? I don't know. I just feel sad. I just don't understand it. She was like, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to keep going. I didn't lay down in it. I didn't wallow in it. I didn't let it dictate who I was. I perceived it was an energy I took from someone else. For whatever reason, I felt sad. I came on to the pantry. Even when I went to pick up the food, the extra food we didn't get. I got in the car going, that's 2,000 pounds of food we didn't African on Wednesday. Mr. Joe, I call him Dad. Sweet man, he's raising his grandbabies. He's in his 80s. He came up behind me because we were doing the famous rice and grits. Miss Virginia did that this week. And he just put his arms around me. He said, I've been meaning to tell you something. And I said, okay. He said, you know, I had a vision or a dream. He said, I'm not sure which it was. He said, do you remember when my blood pressure was so high? And, you know, in the group we always pray. And I said, you pray for my blood pressure. He said, and in the vision I saw the group of people praying for me. He said, but the only person I could make out was you. He said, I ended up going to the hospital and things, and even at the hospital, God gave me that same image, a group of people praying for me, but the only person I could make out was a person who looked just like you. And I'm standing there, he has his arms around me, and one of the other workers is looking at me, tears are filling in my eyes. He said, do you know you have God's ears? You know I lost it, right?
Amen. Amen.
Tears were just streaming. He said, when I came in this group and asked everyone to pray for my sister who had a stroke, and they said she would never have the use of her brain. Again, God said, here's the vision. I can only make out you. I'm in the same family as you. That doesn't make me any special than you. My thing is, what's the vision God has given you for you?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm belly aching and whining. God was like, I can hear you. I took it as God said, now cut all that out. Because that's not what I want to hear. Whining and belly aching. I had to be an adult. I had to bring the wisdom. Remember we talk about the wisdom and the understanding.
Yeah.
Wisdom had to inform my understanding of what was happening to me right then. And I had to keep doing what God wanted me to do as a child. Be an adult. Pick the food up. Go on, bring it down here. No, we didn't have as much. Didn't have water. God blessed Demetrius to get water to take to First Prayers. They got 300 bottles of water. Even though we didn't get any from the food bank. That's called adulting. You just have to begin to trust. See, neither one of them would do that. None of them. 11 children, all the boys, we're not talking to the girls, none of them were adulting. We know how this story goes. They sell the boy. Reuben was the only one that said, you can't do this. This is not right. He's in Egypt. He has to deal with Potiphar. Then he has to deal with being in a prison. Then before you know it, he's before the Pharaoh. And then he's second in command. Next slide, Paul. See, powerful love can overcome tiny issues that arise during family life.
Yes, yes.
All those years did not make him bitter. If they had, we all know, when he saw his brothers, he would have had them beheaded immediately. Yes, he did not.
Yes, yes.
He was adulting, people. He was adulting. He was bringing that wisdom of the suffering, of the hard times, of the lives, of being in the power of God and giving people pure truth and still being in prison.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes. Yes.
Joseph decided to be the adult in the room.
Yes.
God help us that when needed, we decide to be the adult in the room.
Yes. Yes.
Dad, Mr. Joe at First African, was an adult in the room. He probably saw that I had my head a little low. And he came and he said, you need to know God hears you.
Yes. Yes.
I had to stop packing the rice, take my gloves off, and go to the bathroom.
Amen.
And you know, everyone was looking like, ooh, what's wrong with her? They were not sad tears. Do you know what it is for God to take an elder like Mr. Joe and show him just me?
Mm-hmm.
Because God knew down the road, she's going to be depressed. Now I'm going to have Mr. Joe tell her something.
Mm-hmm.
To come and say, God hears you. God hears you. God hears everyone. Not just Charlotte. Because my God is your God.
Amen. Amen.
And you have to have this type of love. The type of love that came into Joseph. I think it was always there. I think we had to get around all the fluff to get to
Yes. Yes.
It took a lying
Yes.
wife. It took
Yes.
a prison
Yes.
to get him to where he needed to be for his family. That's why in the text, if y'all look now, God sent me before you. God sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to keep alive for you many survivors. What God was doing wasn't even for him. It was for you. What Jesus did was for you. It wasn't for Jesus. Jesus had what he had.
Yes. Yes.
It was for you. Next slide. Joseph's life changed tremendously. He's already reunited with his family. Found out he had a brother. And I know sometimes there are family members you have to just deal with in the spirit realm. They may not ever get to that place where you're able to speak with them. But you know you can speak in the spirit about them. God, make them a better person. However, better looks to you, God, not to you, but to God. No matter where we are, how we are, we all have given God a million reasons not to love us.
Amen.
None of them changed God's mind.
Yes.
Y'all better hear me. Not one thing you've ever done changed God's mind about loving you, where you are, how you are, who you are. If God changed on a dime the way we do, we would be in trouble. One minute we'd be snatched bald-headed, the next minute we'd have hair, one minute we wouldn't have fingernails, and the next minute we... God doesn't do that.
Amen. Amen.
That's how I got my mind made up. God's got God's mind made up. God loves you. God loves you. God's not turning back on the love God has for you. God is full forward with the love God has for humanity.
Yes. Yes.
You have but to receive this love or awaken to it. Because see, I don't think any of us are absent from God ever. Awaken to the love that's already in you, for you, about you, the love of God. It was God that kept you from falling. It was God who kept you from getting hit in your car. It was God that kept your children safe. It was God who, if they decided to transition, they came and carried them into the higher heavens of peace. That's God.
Amen. Amen.
Not your pastor.
Amen.
Not your elder, your deacon, God. Because see, we'll change our mind. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not, that's a little sketchy. Testimony was a little shaky. That's not God. If it were, we would be in trouble. If you don't know God in this way, while the doors of the church are open, God's heart is always open. While we may be doing what they call church right now, ministry never ends.
Yes. Yes.
We're always doing ministry. You're always, sometimes you have to minister to yourself, to your family, to your husband, to your children, to your classmates, to your friends, to people who are not your friends.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
God will never, there is nothing you can do to make God hate you. Now, God may be disappointed, because I think God wanted Joseph to see another way to go. It ends up beautiful. God needed to save the people he chose to bring the Messiah through. God had to save them from the famine. Somehow Joseph had to get there. So talk about working everything to God's good now. That was to God's good, but to Joseph's as well, to his brothers. He fell on his brothers' necks. He loved them. He cried with them. And see, we're at a place in this country where even sometimes when people die, folks act ugly.
Amen.
And that I don't get.
Amen.
God, I thank you that your love is toward us, in us, through us, always through our Messiah. I thank you that the people lift their heads and receive the new mercies of the day, God. I thank you, Most High God, for the example of the life of Joseph, God. All of his imperfections and nails and glorious parts, God, I thank you for the life of Jacob and the sons and daughters that he had, that we could see how community is and still is, but yet how you would like for us to walk in love one toward another. I thank you, God, for every heart beating here. In the name of Yeshua, Jesus, our Messiah, I do pray. I want to add, if you are watching us on our Beth Salem page, welcome. Remember, you're only a guest once and then your family. Please share our video of the sermon with your friends and family. Ask them also to join the Beth Salem family. The Beth Salem family wishes you a happy Sunday and a big one. God bless you. Amen. I'll see you next week.